Good morning from Barcelona. This morning we are here in front of La Sagrada Familia, and we are going to try out a technique that I saw in a video from Chris Hau. I'll link his video below. In short, his video was how to turn any lens into a wide-angle lens. So we have our Sigma 18-35, which is a nice camera nice lens for video, but we're kind of too close to the Sagrada Familia to kind of get it all in one shot. So we're going to use this technique to try to get as much in one picture. So what's going to actually make this work out really well is I want to stand basically right in front of the church there, and then take about maybe 9 or so photos, like in a square, and then stitch them all together in Lightroom, and hopefully we can get all the church in one photo. All right, just taking our pictures. Let's head back to the computer and check them out in Lightroom. Alright, so we are now back in the apartment. We've imported all our photos that we've taken into our computer, and we are going to open up Adobe Lightroom. This is what Chris showed us how to do this in. I'm sure there are other programs out there where you can do this similar type thing, but it's also the program that I have, so we're going to stick with Adobe Lightroom. So if we're looking at Adobe Lightroom now, we have all of our 9 pictures here in this particular folder that I set aside. I wanted the very front of the church to be basically the center of the photo, so that's kind of our focal point. So I've made that, I imagine that as my center third, and then everything to the right and to the left will make up the other 6 photos. So what we're going to do now, like in Chris' tutorial, we're going to select all these photos, and we're going to go up to here to photo, and then we are going to do photo merge and then panorama. Whoops. Panorama. And this is where we can decide, as Chris said, what kind of projection we wanted for these 9 photos. Spherical, cylindrical, perspective. And he basically says just take a look at each one and decide what exactly is the best. So wait for this to load as it creates the preview for everything. So that's cylindrical. Let's go to spherical. Building preview once again. Whoa, that's a little squish. And we'll take a look at perspective. Nope. Interesting. I'm going to say far and away, cylindrical was the best projection for these 9 photos. And then also here with this particular slider, boundary warp, you can kind of play with a bit of the distortion of the image. And I'm going to adjust it to about maybe looks the most like that looks decent, I think. Alright, so we will go with that. So now we'll click merge, and now this is the one thing that he talks about in his tutorial, that this technique does take a little more time because number one, you have to shoot more photos, obviously, to get this to work, and also your computer is going to take up a lot more time to kind of put all this together in Lightroom, and particularly a computer that's a little bit older than mine, is a little slower these days, is actually taking a bit of time. So we'll fast forward to where this computer is finally finished. So my computer has finally rendered the panorama, so we can go ahead and select it, and we can go into the development tab, and this is where you can actually just do your particular crop that you want. You can rotate if it's slightly off axis a tiny bit. They can also change a little bit of the distortion. Sometimes things can look a little warped in the center or at the boundaries, then things might look a little weird, so you can make those adjustments there. And then you can pretty much treat it as if you were just editing any other photo. Basically, so we can take a photo from this to this. And personally, I think this turned out pretty well. I definitely don't think I could have gotten this particular result that we're looking at without using this technique, so that was really awesome. I also did it on the other side of La Sagrada Familia, so I took these 3 photos, flash them up on the screen right now, and I combined them to make this photo. So this technique is pretty easy to use. There's not a whole lot of steps involved once we get everything into the computer. Just a couple clicks, a couple adjustments, and bam, we have a photo that suddenly appears to be taken with a wide lens. And in the moment when I was shooting, I was just something I was trying out, and it didn't take too much longer than what I was doing just to set myself up to even try this. So I definitely think I'm going to continue doing this particular technique. There's a couple of useful things I found just doing this. Number one, being able to fake a wide-angle lens using just whatever I have is pretty useful, especially when I'm traveling around and I don't necessarily want to switch my lens, or if I forgot my wide-angle lens entirely. Being able to do this is actually a really useful way to get sort of the photo I might have imagined. Another thing that was really useful in this case in particular is because I didn't have to take a step back, I was able to cut more people out of the shot. What you don't see is the people, I guess, behind me during this was a park area full of people. So if I wanted to get a lot of the Sagrada Familia in this photo, I would have gotten all those people in it as well. So being able to stand basically in front of everyone across the street from the Sagrada Familia and be able to take all the pictures I need to get that full building in it, and then stitch it all together here in the computer. Very useful tool, and like I said, definitely something to keep in mind. It didn't take me that much longer in the field to snap 8 more pictures than what I was already taking. And then it's just a little bit of patience here with my very slow computer. Alright, so that's it for this video, and this particular video actually marks a pretty interesting milestone for me. This is the 3rd week in a row that I've uploaded, and the last time I tried to do this regular uploading thing, I didn't even make it this far. So hopefully we are blazing a trail forward and we're going to keep on uploading. So if you like what you've seen today, give this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let me know what you think about this technique, what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it, maybe what its limitations were for you, and especially if you have any examples, I'd love to see some of those. Alright guys, I'll catch you later. See ya.